Okay, so it's the same day that I received those 3 pin and pin dimple locks, and the FedEx guy decided to stop by again and drop off some French locks. So I have the Fichet 666 here. It is a wafer lock with 7 wafers. There are 2 sidebars in here. So one sidebar interacts with 4 wafers along the top, and the other one interacts with 3 wafers along the bottom. And the 2 sidebars are coupled together. Unfortunately, this is a monobloc cylinder that hasn't been cut or anything like that, so I won't be able to gut it and show you the insides, even though I really want to. So there are other YouTubers out there that have shown the insides you could go check out. I know Artichoke does a really good job of showing the whole thing and the internals. So here's the key in action. And there it is. So you can see it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 cuts on the top and 1, 2, 3 on the bottom. When tensioning, you don't want to tension on the bottom because the outer cylinder here has these cuts that don't move, so you will end up tensioning against that and not be able to turn the plug. So you're going to want to tension on the plug like here maybe. But I found that if I do that, while I can manipulate the first wafer, I can't get the full range of motion on that. So I got to leave this out as far as possible while not letting it fall out. That will allow me to get to that first wafer and get the full range of motion. So I know from having picked this once before that it binds from the back to the front. And so I'll start in the back. And if I keep my pick at the very top, I can run into that first wafer, 1, and then go under it and hit 2, go under that, 3, go under that, 4. Okay, so now I'm on 4. I can see that if I go back to like number 1, it's really springy. So that one's obviously not binding. So on number 4, it's not moving at all, it's binding. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and lift that up. Click from that, and now we can see we get that much motion. It's jiggling now, okay? Whereas the ones that aren't set, like number 1 here, it does more than just jiggle. Like it goes like the full, okay? So let's go and check the bottom. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 3rd pin, it's binding. So I push down on that, and now it's jiggling, okay? So now let's go check out the top again. 1, 2, 3. And yours might have a different bind order. I just know this back it binds from back to front. All right, 3 I feel is binding, so I'll go ahead and lift up on that. All right, click from that, and it's now jiggling. 2 is springy, 1 is springy, so I'll go on the bottom. It's probably time for number 2 on the bottom. But let's double check 3. 3 is binding again. So I find that for whatever reason, they act kind of like tapers, and they have to be reset several times, some of the wafers. All right, so now number 2 on the bottom is definitely binding pretty hard actually. I heard a click as I went all the way down. I heard a lot of rubbing as it went down, so it's something rough, but now it's jiggly. So I'll go back and check 3, and it's binding again. I got a little click out of it, maybe a little plug rotation. I'll check 2 again. All right, got another click out of it. I'm gonna crank up the tension so I don't have to keep going back and forth like this. All right, 2 is jiggling, 3 is jiggling. All right, let's check out the top. 1, 2. All right, 2 is binding a little, and now it's jiggling. That one just kind of oozed into position. Let's check number 1 on the bottom. It's springy. 2 on the bottom, binding again. So I clicked, and I got a little plug rotation out of that. Let's check 3 on the bottom again. It's springy. It's jiggling, sorry. 2's jiggling. Now let's see if 1. Okay, 1's binding now, really hard. All right, I got a click out of 1, and it's jiggling. Double check 2. 2's jiggling. 3's jiggling. I'll check the top, even though I think it's fine. 4's jiggling. 3's jiggling. 2's jiggling. 1 is binding. So I'm going to lift 1. And this should hopefully give us our open, if we're lucky. All right, 1 is moving slowly. Oh, it seemed to jump into something. It seemed to have jumped into something, and it seems to maybe be. All right, I'm going to double check my other ones before I keep pushing on 1. I don't want to overset number 1. 3 on the bottom. Wait. Sorry, I'm having 2, 3 on the bottom. jiggling, 2 on the bottom, jiggling, 1 on the bottom. Appears to be binding. All right, so you see, I didn't want to keep going with 1 because I felt it might have clicked into something. It wasn't jiggling very well. I think it might be a little gritty there. I went and checked 1 on the bottom. It was binding again. I clicked it, and that got me my open. Okay, so trust your gut. I felt when I pushed number 1 up, and I felt that little click, but I didn't feel jiggle after that. I'm like, maybe I should jiggle test the rest. And if I didn't, I would have overset number 1. And the thing is, when you overset this, you have to actually counter rotate for the wafers to fall back down. It just could be it's gritty or something like that, but the sidebars really hold them in place even if I pull the tensioner out. So in any case, you can see it's unlocked. You can move the actuator flag right there, and we'll lock it back up like that. It's locked. Can't move, and there we go. So that is the Fichet 666. Thanks.